So this is our Grants 101 class. Sis, get up. Okay, sis, get up and boss. So this is the Sis Get Up and Boss community. Here we inspire, we motivate, and we teach. We want to see women learn all they can learn, go to the next level. So sis, make sure that you like, subscribe, stay tuned for everything that we have coming. And so we are on the live right now, and I'm going to bring up some phenomenal businesses for a quick minute just to shout out what they do and what they're here to learn from tonight. And so I'll start it off. As y'all know, I'm your host, the founder of Sis Get Up and Boss. I always say, y'all, this is not just my community. Make sure that y'all are showing up and bossing. If you have some kind of skill or some knowledge, don't hesitate to put it out there because we're looking for you. My business is I publish authors. And so if you got a book, make sure you get with me. Author Overnight. Publications and Designs is the business. And tonight I'm just looking to find funding for both of my businesses. I want to know, how do you get grants and just all that juiciness. So that's what I'm here for. And whoever else is ready, go ahead and unmute.
Hello, can y'all see me?
I can. Thank you for bossing up, sis. Let's go.
Hey everyone. So I'm excited to be here. This is actually my first Zoom that I've caught. So I am excited about that. I am looking to receive information about receiving funding, of course. I actually was just talking to someone about funding like the other day. So this is just amazing that I was able to catch this. I am Janiqua Lightsey. I am a youth financial literacy motivator. I equip single moms on raising financial literate children. So I'm teaching the youth, y'all, credit, investing, money management, banking at a young age because they need to know this, primarily for minorities, but they all need to know. So that's who I am. Hey, y'all, come plant with me. My business is Plant the Seed Financial Literacy. I'm glad to be here and just be amongst amazing boss women.
Period. I love it. Listen, I'm gonna have her next, so stay tuned. Putting that in the atmosphere. Really quick, make sure if you don't want to speak up, drop your links. Okay, drop the links. I got a way to get the recording of the chat as well, and then you never know who's here and wants to get the link to your business. So drop your links in the chat as well. Let's take a couple more. Come on, ladies. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
My name is La Rosa. I am a graphic designer. I design logos and branding. I have a business called Taste Like Branding, which I've had since 2018. It hasn't really gone where I would like it to go. So I'm hoping that tonight's meeting will enlighten me as far as the type of funding or services that may be available to me as a business owner, as a minority, and as a woman. So I'm really excited about all of the information that is going to be shared this evening. And this is, the first one I've caught as well.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy to have you with us. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
Hi, yes. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
What's going?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, how you doing? My name is DeAndrea, and I have a company called Store the Chances, and I'm just trying to get knowledge on how to get funding to start it up. What I'm teaching is bookkeeping for moms that, you know how it is out there. It's kind of hard to keep it 9 to 5 with kids. So I just want to be able to teach them how to actually create their own home-based business. And I teach bookkeeping. I also teach medical and billing, and I also teach techniques to how to just balance life with your home life and with your children and with the business. I just want to learn how to get funding for that. So I could be able to teach them courses and you have the material for them, without them having to come out their pocket so much because we know how hard it is. So that's what I'm here for today.
Yes, amen. I love that. Thank you so much, sis. Who else was trying? Somebody else was trying to speak to.
I think it was me.
Yes. Hey, sis. That's my sis. Go ahead, girl.
Me, right?
Yeah, you, Luanda.
Hi, y'all. Oh man, that is coming up after them. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I'm Luanda. I own E&L Nail Supply. So I'm a nail supply store here in Lansing. I'm a licensed manicure, so knowledgeable of what I'm doing. And I've been in business. It's my second year. It'll be 2 years in September. And I'm here just because, you know, I be hearing about my girl Lorin, and I've been following her for so long. So when I seen that she was a guest speaker, of course I was like, let me formally like actually meet her in this way. And I also want to learn how she, you know, do it and stuff, because, you know, I'm in a phase in my business where, you know, applying for grants is like, you know, I'm at that point. So I just want to see how to do it.
Period. And she downplaying her gift, okay? Because she lit too. All right, we got room for one more, and then we're gonna let our amazing speaker take the floor. One more, somebody who like, I gotta get my business out there. Don't hold back, sis. It's your time. It's your time. No? All right. Last call. I do see some in the chat. So when you get a chance, ladies, go ahead and look. And if our phenomenal speaker is ready, then we'll go ahead and jump right into it. And real quick, let me just say, Lorin, you are bomb. So I'm so happy to have you on tonight as well, y'all. She's gonna talk all about herself, but sis got 2 locations here in the Lansing area. I'm going to get my facial. So if you're in Lansing, go get your facial. Take time for self-care. I said I was gonna say that at the beginning because I've been waiting. All right, girl.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be here. First thing first, I just want everyone to make this a conversation. I definitely don't want this just to be a presentation. Like, I want everyone to feel comfortable. So at any point you got a question, anything you want to say, please say it, because I just always feel like I can learn from you guys just as much you guys can learn from me. I've learned from many people. You're never too young to teach, you're never too old to learn. So please make this a conversation. This is not just a presentation. So hi, I'm Lorin Cumberbatch. I'm the owner of Skin Studio 211. I have 2 locations, one in West Lansing, one in East Lansing. I like to say we are where faces get all the love. We are estheticians that provide, that help getting ready easier by providing lashes, facials, waxing. We do so much stuff. I can go on how much stuff. Our list is like this long online. So just go to the website, skinstudio211.com. So I started almost 3 years ago. I'm not even 3 years just yet. And I've done quite a few things in my, you know, short amount of career. I don't feel like I'm an expert just yet, but I do know a little something about applying to certain things. The first thing I like to tell people is that you want to make sure your business is structured correctly, and that's not just getting an LLC. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. So I have a MacBook, and I've never had a MacBook. So if I don't know what I'm doing, that's why. So hopefully everyone can see this. Please, you can unmute yourself, give me feedback, because I want this conversation.
We can see it.
These are the things that you really should have as a legitimate business. Think about it. If you was to go to T-Mobile, you know, the new iPhone is like almost $2,000. If they didn't have a location or a website, would you really give them $2,000? That's how I look at it. Like, you cannot have you got to have all of these things to actually be legitimate, because getting an LLC is $50. I have so many LLCs, some I don't even use, some I applied just because I thought I was starting this business. I was not. They're just out there, you know. That doesn't mean you're a business at all. So that's why I like to get out the way. This is really like building your person. So I like to tell people a business is legitimately another person. It is your child that's your birth. So if you have this person, you got to give it a name when you have a baby, don't you? So you got to name it something. And then you got to think about it. We're not birthing an infant. We're birthing a grown adult, a whole 18-year-old. So they got to have their own address. They got to have their own number. I look at the EIN as the social security number of the business. We have a social security number. The EIN is their social. They're the same amount of numbers. They're nine numbers. So it's the same thing. So that's the social security number. You got to have its own cell phone. You don't share a cell phone with your children. So that person needs his own cell phone. Same thing with business account, a bank account. You don't share a bank account besides anyone your significant other. And even then, when you share things like that, they consider you as one person, not even two separate people. So all of this stuff is everything you need. I put a question mark next to Duns and Brad number because from my understanding, I haven't done full research. The government has created their own Duns and Brad number. Duns and Brad number is like what you use a lot of time to apply for business credit. I understand that the government started to create their own. So but I don't know if you still can create this, and I don't know how much valid it is right now. So that's why I put a question mark. I haven't fully done research on it. And then professional email. I know a lot of us like Google, but if you think about it, if Chase, for example, if someone emailed you from Chase and said, hey, your account has been hacked, and you looked at the email and it came from a Gmail, would you think that's a legitimate Chase email? You probably wouldn't. You would think that's spam. So you have to get your professional email. I believe it's only $6 a month. We spend more than that on coffee at Starbucks, Big B, wherever you get your coffee. So you should really invest in a professional email. It don't have to be info at, it could be my professional email, I believe is Lorin at skinstudio.com. And then I separate my emails. So I also have West Lansing at skinstudio211. And then I have East Lansing, just because I'm like, I need to know who you're talking to. I have info, I have contact, I have so many professional emails, just because it makes my business actually look legitimate. Because if you got an email from me and it says skinstudio211@gmail.com, I can't even afford $6 to put into my business, but I have 2 locations. Like, it's just, to me, it doesn't add up. And then the last thing after you pretty much get all of this together is your social media presence, your online presence, that's all online. You got to have that. Like, if you was to Google me or my business, I have like constant stuff. That's why I do so much, because your online presence is important. If you was to type in Walmart, so much stuff on online is going to come up as far as Walmart, good things, bad things, reviews, it doesn't matter. So you have to have an online presence. If you don't, they don't legitimately consider you a business. You can have all this other stuff and they honestly would not think you're a legitimate business, because when I applied for a phone line for my business, they literally typed my name into Google to see what I came up. So if you don't have online presence, you can have all this correct and no online presence. In this day and age, it has to be technology. You got to be online. If you're not online, you got eliminated in 2020. We saw that. So it's very important to have social media page and things like that. Another thing that I like to tell people is that it should all match. You got to hit, your business name is Nails by Lee. It should say Nails by Lee everywhere, not Nails by _Lee somewhere else, because we move so fast. And if I can't find your business name, or if I stumble on someone else's business page within the first 60 seconds, you're not going to get my sale. So for me, no matter where you go, you're going to type in Skin Studio 211, no underscore, no @sign, no nothing. It's very simple for you to remember, because if I see you at the grocery store and you ask me, you're going to remember Skin Studio 211. But you may not remember Skin _Studio 211 if I tell you at the grocery store, unless I write it down. But most of the time, we're just moving that we don't even realize, you know? So it's important that you get your business social media presence, online presence, all to match the same. So if your business name, like my LLC is Skin Studio 211. So it says LLC, but you will never see me put Skin Studio 211 LLC. LLC does not mean nothing. That is not a part of your business name. And I think a lot of people have to realize that I believe Applebee's is an LLC, but you do not see them promote Applebee's LLC. And I think Google is an LLC as well. They don't see them say googlellc.com. Please take that out. That's how you know if you're a legitimate business. If you have this LLC in there, I automatically don't even take you serious. And that's 100%. And that's the same thing for grants. All of this matters because they get so many people who apply to grants. These little small things will eliminate you so quick. So my business name technically is Skin Studio, LLC, legit, how it's written like that. But I always just go by Skin Studio 211. Everything I do. 1 second. And then you want your business name to also, your location to also be, you can get a virtual address. I forget how much that is, but that's like a couple bucks a month as well. You can borrow someone else's location as well. Like if you know, like E&L Nails, they have a location. They can offer address as well if they want to. I can offer someone if they wanted to use my address. But you want to make sure you have a separate address from your home, because once you put an address connected to your business name, it's Googleable. So you put your home address on your LLC, I can see that. To me, I don't really care about having my home address online because we are all on social media. We are all online. I could probably find each one of you guys' home address, past numbers, everything, no matter what you've tried to done, because like right now, LCC, Lansing Community College, had a cybersecurity threat. So that means someone probably got our information if you go to LCC right now. So I just say, regardless, it's going to be online, but you should definitely have a separate address from you. I kind of don't like to do virtual addresses because sometimes when you put virtual addresses or PO boxes, when you apply to certain things, it will say like address invalid. So that's another thing. So that's why I actually say to get actually physical location that you can find on Google. Because I don't know what they're doing, but sometimes it does not work. So you cannot just have a PO box and you cannot just have a virtual address sometimes. But for right now, if you need to just afford a virtual address, that's perfectly fine. Business license, it all depends. I believe in Michigan, you don't really need a business license, but it depends on your industry. So these two you could just kind of skip. My EIN, I mean, I don't really care. You guys can know my EIN because it's everywhere. It's completely different. So it should look like this, 2 numbers in the front and then the rest in the back. It's still 9 numbers. And when you apply to certain things, if it's asking for your social along with your business, that most likely means that it's gonna hit your credit, if that makes sense. So that's why you want the Duns and Brad number, because once you put these two, it won't use you at all. And then your bank account number, your bank account, you can go for whoever you want. A lot of you, with bank accounts, you should really look at to see if they're offering new business accounts, because I know a lot of times like Chase likes to offer, if you put $1,000 in, they'll give you $200. So that's another way to get like a little extra money. Look at that as well. And then your business line, you can get a Google number, which is free. But I don't say to start off with that. I did when I first opened Skin Studio, but Google took my number because it's supposed to be used only for business. Only for personal, and clearly I was using it for business because people were calling all the time, so they knew it wasn't a personal line, so they took it, and it was the worst experience ever because people was calling number and it was not going through, so I was losing clients. So you can get a cell phone if you need to. And she raised her hand. Oh, you can unmute yourself. I don't know who raised their hand.
Yeah, I had a quick question. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, please interrupt.
How you doing? Okay, so I just want to, you said something about the Duns and Brad's number. You were saying to use, it'd be best to use your EIN and your Duns and Brad's so it won't hit your personal credit. I didn't catch that part.
Oh, so like sometimes when you apply to certain things, they try to be sneaky and they'll say, what's your social? And instead of putting your personal social, you can put your Duns and Brad number there. And it may deny you, but it may deny you at first. But when you call and just let them know, I don't want anything, like, why do you need my personal social security? Right. So you will put that in there so it doesn't try to, because I know when I apply for a Staples credit card, it said it does not personal guarantee, and I put my social in it, it hit my personal credit.
Got you.
So if you would have put the Brad's number, then they will have no, because there'll be a spot that says EIN. Then they'll say like, oh, your social. What do you need my social for if this is completely law business? You know?
Right. Okay.
A lot of things like credit cards though, they will personal guarantee regardless. Like banks, no matter what, most of the time will personal guarantee. So this is more just sort of for like store cards, smaller loans and things like that. But once you get in the higher part, you're gonna have the personal guarantee regardless. So
okay, cool beans. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, like I said, your business line, definitely get that separate from you. I have 2 phones, so I'm constantly going back. And then also helps to separate. So like if someone texts your number, because people will, if you deal with clients, will text you at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's easier to be able to just leave that phone somewhere or turn it off after a certain hour and things like that. And same thing with your website. The number one mistake I think people make is having a .net, something else besides .com. Everything is usually .com. The only thing you should change the ending of your website is if you're an organization, if you're a government website and things like that, then those matter. But if I go on your site and if your thing was nails by Lily .net, I'm not going to remember that because everything is .com, google.com, apple.com, applebee's.com, then I'm not going to remember that you're a .net. No one really uses .net besides things that are networks. You got to look at the end and what it means. So government.gov is government, .org is organization, .net is a network, but you're not a network, you're a business. So I'll prefer to use .com. But yeah, so these are the main things that you definitely want to get through before you start applying to grants, because these would easily eliminate you if you don't have this together quickly, because they get, depending on which ones you apply for. If you apply for the larger scale ones, obviously it's people all over the United States that are applying to this. So there's probably like 50,000 people who's applying. They need to eliminate people very quickly. So it could be system generated, all this other stuff where they're just like, okay, your business name has LLC in it, bye. Unless it asks you for it, or you don't have a tax ID, bye, things like that, depending on their requirements. So that's one thing. Do you guys have any questions? Sorry, I have not checked the chat, so make sure. Yeah, we are all online regardless. That's what I think too. So when people are like, oh, I don't want my information online, it's already online unless you live on a rock. If you're on Facebook, you're literally online.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you recommend as for like a domain for our website? Because that's one thing that I've been just kind of confused or iffy about. I see people moving from Shopify to Wix. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh yeah, so my favorite place to get a domain is Google, because Google is only $12 a month. 1, that's the cheapest you're gonna probably find, and then 2, you could take that domain anywhere. So I moved my Skin Studio 211 domain from so many different places, and because it's technically owned by Google, and I don't really import it. That's another thing. When you sign up for Shopify, Square, all them websites, it will ask if you want to pull that domain from Google and transfer it to their thing. I never do that just because I want to still own it. And Google, they still kind of somewhat own my domain, but at least I have it if I want to move it, if that makes sense. And it's only $12 a year. So my skinstudio.com is $12 a year. That's less than $1 a month. So yeah, I say Google. You can get it from your website, website provider, because you can still pull it from there, but Google has always been cheaper, $12 a year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, you guys? Okay. So the next thing I have brought up, let's see if I can share my screen again. So once you have all that stuff together, hold on. You can start applying for grants. Now, when it comes to grants, you have to look at certain requirements. There is a grant probably for every little thing. If you are Black, a woman, and you're young, you can apply to so many grants. It's like crazy how many grants that there's out there for our age group. Being Black, especially since the George Floyd thing, like they try to put money into us like crazy. I personally feel like local grants is a lot easier to win, get, or whatever the case may be, versus large scale ones. Like there's a FedEx one that happens, I think every couple of months. That is much harder. It's not impossible, but it is much harder. local grants are important. Like, I don't know if it's still open, but there is a state or city grant. I think it's called the Facade grant right now, where they will pay, I think, up to $50,000 to do improvement on your store. So if you want a sign for your business, if you want to add an extra room to your business, you can apply for that and they will give you the money to complete that project. So you got to also look at, it's not just about getting the money. Like, I've won $11,000. So yeah, it was straight cash, but it's not just about that. Sometimes if you're looking for a specific thing, maybe you need a certain product or a certain thing, there's grants that will just pay for that. You have to show that you bought it, or they will buy it for you and then they'll give it to you, type of thing. So look at that. If there's a need, you need to look at just what the need is versus just getting straight cash. So let me show you. I think I applied to one grant recently. Let me open it up.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead,
And
please.
you're probably going to answer it, but for like local grants, like, how do you look for those? You just going like, say local grants?
To be honest, I'm gonna tell you the easiest way to find grants is literally Google, and you can find your city grants. City grants is a lot of time, people don't understand the value of being at government meetings, being at government public, everything that they have as far as the government. That's where they tell you if something is coming. The state gets certain amount of money to be able to do certain things. Sorry, hold on one second.
Listen, we're going to start going to these government meetings, okay?
Even if you register for the meeting and you don't go, they will still send you the information from the meeting and you'll get the updates for grants too.
Yep, 100%. And you should also join city boards, government boards. People don't see the value of doing that. Networking is like the easiest way, one, to get a grant, or just money in period. Like, you don't know who you meet at these certain meetings or anything like that, who sees like you're consistently coming and things. Because right now, everyone owns a business. Literally, everyone in the world right now owns a business. They feel like their business is the best, all this other stuff. But they won't know about your business unless you're actually sitting next to them in a room and actually talking with them. And they legit see that, like, oh, wow, just by speaking to her, I could see that her business is like really something I want to pour into you. And I don't think people will see that. So right now, I sit on the Downtown East Lansing Management Board, and then I think I'm gonna sit on the barber board, because I like to do stuff that I am in, because it's going to affect me personally. So like, I wouldn't sit in Okemos. I mean, yes, Okemos is close to me, but I live in East Lansing and then I work in East Lansing. So it's better if I sit in that board, because when things come, I'm going to be the first to know, because they're going to ask us, what do we want to do with the city money? Or if they want to raise property tax, they're going to ask the board first and I have a say. But there's also public meetings that they have all the time that you probably don't even realize. If you go to their site, it will literally say a public meeting. So when people say, oh, they made this thing without saying me, well, it was open, but no one came, that's where you're able to find grants. So I've heard of a lot of grants that I've won before it even came, because of someone I knew. I went to the meeting, or like she said, it got it in my email. Because once you start applying grants, it just keeps coming, pretty much. So let me see if I can show you one of my grants. So Hello Alice is like a great place to find grants. However, a lot of this is going to be like across the United States. So obviously it's going to be a lot harder to get because it's across the United States. So I'm going to see if I can find, I literally just had it up. So let me just see if I can find where I applied to a grant before. So like, it literally tells you like a whole bunch of grants. A lot of these grants too are lottery. So what it means by lottery is that it's kind of best of luck. Like, you apply, they put your name on a hat, hopefully you get it. So Hello Alice is a good one. What I like to do with grants is save my application. So Hello Alice is a great thing. It saves your application, yes. However, sometimes it does not save your application on some sites. So what I like to do before I submit that grant is I highlight the whole thing and put it in a Word document, because these grants will literally ask you for the same questions almost all the time. So like, I'm gonna try to find an old one I did. Oh, that's not gonna find one. So, oh wait, no, this is already done. So like this small business grant, it was really simple. At first, usually it asks you like who you are and things like that. You got to remember when you're answering these questions that are they asking about you yourself, or are they asking about the business? So like when I put the business best phone number, I did put my business phone number versus my personal number because this is involving business. I don't want to miss out on a grant or something like that because they called me or had more information. I'm thinking it was someone else, you know? So usually they ask about you personally. And a lot of times people don't like to fill out like, oh, I'm affiliated with the military, or, you know, I'm Black and things like that. I tell people all the time, whether it's grants or even applying for a job, some of these grants, some of these businesses have to have a certain amount of Black people, white people, disability, people with disabilities, veterans, and all that stuff to show that they're not biased. Because if you go to a job and it's all white, they can get in trouble for that technically. Same thing with Target. Target, when they lose a Black business, they have to replace it with another Black business because there's a certain amount of Black business they have to have in a store by the government, because then it shows that they're being biased and it affects, you know, the whole economy. Government doesn't want to deal with all this protests and all this other stuff. So I definitely put that I'm Black so they know who I am. If you have other things, definitely please put it. Same thing with LGBTQ, because there's some grants a lot of times that are specific to them, disabilities, veterans, all the other state age. So yes, it says prefer not to say, but I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you put prefer not to say. And then it wants to talk about your business. Like, what do you do? So right now I just strictly put my business name, because the second question right after that is, what is your business? I think it says like LLC or corporation, all this other stuff. So I don't need to put Skin Studio, LLC right there, because it's going to already ask that. Now, if it doesn't ask you that, then I would say just put it just so that they see that you're a legitimate business. And then also business address separate, when you was founded. A lot of times you got to have this information. So what I would say is create a binder that literally has this information, because they're going to ask you the same questions over and over and over and over again. You want to have to keep looking for it. And if you see like my business website, skinstudio211.com, Facebook name, facebook.com/skinstudio211, instagram.com/skinstudio. It's all the same. They're going to be finding me real easy if they just put my name into Google. Oh, sorry. And then just answering the questions and stuff like that. So when they ask you specific questions like, how will you describe your business? When you're answering these questions, you got to find the best way for you to answer these questions. I'm a verbal person, so when it comes to describing my business, so what I would like to do is I would have someone read me the question, like literally give them my computer, have them read me like they're interviewing me, and then voice record my answers, because I'm not a good person who types and answer questions. Maybe some of you guys is better with typing it out, answer questions, but I'm great at describing my business by talking to you. So then when I go back and type out these questions, I'm able to, it would sound so much better by doing it this way, me typing it out after I already answered it, and then tweaking it to sound more professional, because sometimes I don't always speak professionally. When it says max 150 words, I also feel like you want to actually also keep that, because sometimes it could be system generated that you're over 150, it's just going to eliminate you because it's specifically telling you what to do. It's like applying to a scholarship. Why do more than 150 if it said 150? And sometimes, yes, it's harder to describe your business 150 words, but you have to take out what you think is really unnecessary. If my thing was extremely long, maybe I don't have to list out all these services that we do. Maybe I take out, list only the top 2, top 1, and things like that. Having grants also matters sometimes for having employees, because I have 9 employees. So sometimes, now that I'm getting a little bigger, I am eliminating myself in a lot of these grants, because they'll be like, oh, can't have more than 5 employees and things like that, including yourself. So putting these also matter as well. Your annual gross, because some of your annual gross, it eliminates you. What it does for me. So after you start growing and start doing things, it eliminates you. You're not really getting any smaller grants anymore. So now it's going to start asking you some of these questions. So hello, Alice, a lot of these questions literally are going to be the same. So you do want to copy these answers, and it doesn't allow me to copy it this way. Like I can't copy it. I can kind of copy it, but this one will show up on a Google document. Before I submit this, I always copy and paste it. So it says like, please elaborate your biggest struggle or challenge. And you kind of really want to be descriptive. You see, it doesn't say a max word here. So be as descriptive as possible, because they want to know what it is your business struggling, because every business has a struggle. If you put, oh, I'm doing perfectly fine, that's an issue, because it's like, why are you applying for the grant? We want to give this to someone who needs it. And with grants, it also matters because once you do get the money, they want to know how you used it, when you used it, and how it increased your business. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys.
Can everybody else hear okay? I've seen a couple messages saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, they might just need to come in and out. Make sure you guys are dropping your questions or asking them. No question is stupid. Like, don't leave here without your questions being asked, ladies. Like, if she didn't say it, make sure you ask them.
Yeah, please, because I do better with having a conversation versus just doing a presentation. So I may not say something, but I want to say it, you know, so please definitely ask. But so these questions don't really have a max. So you want to really do be descriptive as possible, because like I said, with winning grants, they want to know what you did with the money. Because if they keep giving money out to businesses that keep failing, people who are giving them their money will no one give it to them. The point of these grants is to see success in these businesses, because a lot of times people do have great ideas. They just don't have the funding behind it, you know? So you definitely want to be descriptive as much as possible, and things like that. So you see this one is saying 250 words and things like that. Please elaborate like how you're going to use the grant funding. You want to be specific. Exactly. Yes, you may not, maybe you'll need it for something different later on, because sometimes some of these grants you won't see for another couple months. So maybe you got money come in to fix that one thing you was going to use it for. So maybe now you're going to use it for something else. Just because you don't put it here doesn't mean you can't use it for something else. And then it also talks about sometimes like how it affects the community. The more I grow, the more jobs I'm able to supply, or, you know, I'm able to give my employees a better living wage because now I have a little bit more funding behind me, or we can see more clients and things like that. So this is just pretty much an example of all the type of grants, how you would fill it out. These do take a while. I'm not going to lie. Like you could spend up to an hour, maybe even more trying to fill out this grant, because you just saw how many questions they're asking. So that's why I say save your answers, because some of these are literally legitimately the same. I'm trying to see if I find another one that I did, because it's literally the same answers. I don't know.
We got 2 questions in the chat as well.
Oh, sorry. I always forget to check the chat.
No, you you
Okay.
got it. Okay.
Is there any maximum or minimum your business will have to be making for funding, or just depends on the grant? So with any requirements, it always depends on the grants. So sometimes a lot of them do not have a maximum. Sometimes they do not have a minimum how much money you can make. Kind of like the PPP loan. There was large companies getting, you know, millions of dollars of PPP loans, but people have to realize like they're franchisee. So you can be a franchisee, have one location, and you are still considered a small business in the eyes of the grant you're applying for, because you just hold the franchisee name. You don't actually have 10 franchises, you know? So it depends on the grant. Sometimes like as much money as I bring in, I don't qualify anymore for these local grants or smaller grants, or how many employees I have now that I have 9, I no longer qualify for some of these things. So it does matter for them. And have you received the grant from Hello Alice? I have not, because I don't apply often for these. And these are more lottery with Hello Alice. They're not really like you're gonna win immediately. That's why I said it's much easier to apply for grants that are locally, statewide, close by, because people apply for, this is why I said round 2, because they do this every year and they do it in quarters. And it's literally just a name out of hat. And it will email you and tell you like, hey, you did not get picked this round, because they're just randomly picking it out of a hat. And then we have another question. D'Andrea, hopefully I'm saying that right. I don't know if she's unmuted.
I think that was from the last time.
Oh, last one. Okay. Okay, cool. But yeah, so Hello Alice is a good way just to at least practice, because then you'll start seeing some of the questions that may come up. But like I said, I prefer a local grants, because they know you, they see you, they hear you, and it's gonna affect them locally. They want to give money to smaller businesses that they know is gonna stay locally. Like I think downtown Lansing right now has a grant for small businesses who want to come to who want to come to downtown Lansing, who are in downtown Lansing. I think they give up to $5,000. So that's another grant. Like I said, the facade, I'm hoping I'm saying it right, grant. I don't know if that's over, but that's a good grant. Then I can give you physical cash, but they're gonna also help with improving your business. I think that's only for Lansing or Eaton County. And we are kind of lucky if you live in Lansing. You have Grand Ledge, you have East Lansing, Okemos, Delta Township. Like we have so many counties, smaller areas around us that you can apply for a lot of things. And don't be afraid that if you apply, you don't get it. Apply again, because I've applied to certain grants 3 or 4 times and finally got it after like the 4th time. Just look at what they wrote back in the email. If they said, you didn't answer a question, or, it was incomplete, that just gives you an opportunity to apply again and things like that. But yeah, so I think this is all I have for that. Do you guys have any questions or something I didn't teach on? Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, what are some grants I've applied for? So I like to tell people, don't only just look for grants, look for programs as well. Okay. A lot of these programs, especially in Lansing, because I'm not from Lansing, I'm from New York, and Lansing has poured so much into smaller businesses. It's not even funny. You guys are doing yourself a disservice by living here and have not taken upon any of these programs or grants. Because I swear, like every couple months, they're trying to get back to the local community, especially if you're Black and a minority woman. So you need to apply it to the grants that they have and the programs that they have, because sometimes at the end of these programs, they give money. So like Leap One It All was a program created, that was $2,000. There's another LEAP program that gave us a couple $1,000. I don't remember the name of it, but they gave me, I think, like $7,000. What else was it? I won $11,000 from Michigan Women Forward. The facade grant, I also in the process of getting as well, been approved, just have to fill out the form to improve our outdoor sign. And I think that's going to be like $5,000. So a lot of the local programs that they have, you need to be applying for. And I do share as much as I can as well. But I've won those type of grants, more of a local statewide versus all over. Like I think there's one person on my Facebook who has done the FedEx, and that's more voting. So if you have a good community behind you that can vote every single day or every hour, however they do, then apply for it, because it's based on voting. It's not so much based on if they like your business, as at least for the first round, So I've won Michigan Women Forward. That's another grant that they have. They have quite a few of those. Michigan Women Forward's another one. I'm trying to think of what else. I've won so many things. Like I just honestly don't even know. I feel like every month I'm winning something. I also won Athena PowerLink, which I'm currently in. They don't give me physical cash, but they give me up to $25,000 in mentoring. So right now on my board, I have a lawyer that will help me with a lot of stuff that I don't need to pay for. I have someone who helping me grow product sales because we do great service sales, but I would like to increase product. So she's on my board, and you get to choose who you want on your board, not just whatever they give you. So that's another program. Athena Power Link is a program, and I have them for the whole year. So that's going to help increase my business as well. So I think people should stop focused on so much the money and start focused more on what will it do for you? Because maybe you need a lawyer right now, or maybe you need someone that can help teach you how to ship things nationwide, international. And there's a program or grant for that you can apply for. And if you win that, that would help versus trying to get the physical cash. Because honestly, if we got the physical cash, are we really using it for the thing we absolutely need? Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have a slow week and then we decide to pay bills with it, which is the most important thing versus actually using that money for something else. So look at that versus just the cash. Yeah, I'll type it in Michigan woman board. And when it comes to these grants, it's not going to be easy. Like my Michigan one forward, it was $11,000. But when I say, I think it took me 6 months to get that from start to finish, from when I applied to when I actually got it, because I had to first attend like the seminar, the beginning seminar, do the application, and the application I had to pay for. So it's another thing. People think that, it's $20 for application, but I mean, if you're serious about it, you're gonna pay. I spent a couple $100 on applying. And then after that, once I got selected, I had to create my business plan, give them my business plan by a certain amount of time. I had to do a pitch in front of the other top 5 people and stuff like that. And then I had to pitch it online. But from my understanding, someone who's won as well, they said that usually they do it in person. So you might have to drive out there, depending on where they do it. It's a lot of work when you start getting the higher ones. It's not just so much of, you apply, you win. That's why Hello Alice is more of a lottery, because you could just apply, just keep applying, and hopefully pull a name out the hat. You don't have to do anything for it. But a lot of these ones that are local and they actually want you to succeed, they're going to make you put some elbow grease in it. Yeah, and I think also people don't realize that I've applied for way more grants than I actually won. So I have, like I said, I've spent money into applying. Like it may be $20 here, $15 here, and maybe I didn't even get it. So I guess wasted money, but to me, it's almost like, I'm a Christian, so like the more seeds I sow, I'm gonna get something back eventually. So I don't look at it that much of, I didn't win. So okay, Lord, let me apply something else. So every month I try to apply to at least one, but I do try to apply to a couple per month because they usually come out per month versus every week or something. So I'll sit down for a day and just go, okay, I'm gonna apply to 5 today or 10 today if I have free time. And like I said, if you save the application, it's real easy just to put those things in there versus like constantly typing everything out all over again. And then just tailor it to what the question is asking. Read the question. If they don't have a word max, now you can elaborate a little bit more. If they do have a word max, I need to cut it back, put the most important things. Do you think paying for a grant writer is necessary and better the chances? Me personally, no one can tell your business like you can. No one knows your business like you can. You can tell them like, my struggle is, I think I put for me hiring a team, but they're not with me every day to see what exactly my struggles are. So I would say that, yes, you can, but I think you need to find out the best way that you talk about your business. Do you talk better by writing out your business? Do you talk about your business better by talking to someone in general conversation? I think you'll have a better chance in doing it that way. You can do grant writers, but they want money up front. So are you going to pay for the application fee plus their fee on a chance that maybe you'll get it, not to actually get it? And they're not cheap either, because they're spending quite a few amount of time with your grant, writing your grant. Sorry, 1 second.
That is so true. I met a grant writer. She wanted like 500. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a maybe. That's a maybe. And they don't, the reason why grant writers don't believe in getting a cut after you get the money, because they know just as much as like, you may not get this. So they maybe applied to 50 for a whole year before you get your first one. They don't work for free for a whole year to hopefully, but no, it's not worth it. Facade building grant is that I think is, I want to say it's spelled this way for the facade. Oh, I think I spelled this way. I want to say I spelled it this way, but just Google it because I think it's on the government site. Like I said, this is a government grant. They got money for this grant. And the reason why they got money, I want to say, is because if you think about it, not a lot of people will put money into keeping the area of Lansing like up to date. So they have to give money out because if not, it's not going to be anything. So that's another thing that people had to realize, like the state gets money to improve it because the more they improve the area of Lansing, the more people want to move here, the more people want to do things here versus, you know, they just like, oh, I'm just going to let the people figure it out themselves. Lansing will be nothing. Any city will be nothing if they didn't give us money to improve it. So definitely look at government sites because even when it comes to not only just for grants as far as business, there's grants for, from my understanding, for getting a house. Like the government will have money to give out to first-time home buyers or people who want to buy a house and give you money towards buying that. So there's grants for a lot of things and not just businesses. I think someone asked me in another podcast I did was like, is there individual grants for you personally? I mean, I've never heard of individual grants at all. I would think the grants that they're talking about would be like food stamps, stuff like that. But I don't think there's physical grants for me like, hey, here's $1,000 because you want $1,000 and you apply for it. No, it has to be a reason, like buying a house, you know, owning a business, going to school. Those are grants. Are there grants for purchasing a building? There are grants for that. Like I said, it's a grant right now. Well, not right now. I think they said in March that will be for buying a house. So I want to say that it probably is funds for just buying property, period, because that helps people. Not everyone is financially ready to buy a house or buy a building. So there are grants for that. You just have to talk to your mortgage banker. They would know a lot more information as that as well.
That was so good. Anybody got any more questions?
I think it's okay. Where do you go to find programs that offer funding? So funding or grants? Angelica, is it? Oh, grants. Like I said, I think you might have jumped on later. So I said, like, for the government stuff, it will literally be on their website. It will be at these meetings, these public meetings that they have and things like that. If you're talking about like government, which we just talked about, if you're talking about certain programs, you can check LEAP. Sometimes they get money, sometimes they don't, but the amount of information that they give you in these programs will far-fetched take your business from here to here. Because if I honestly did not go through LEAP, I don't think my business will be anywhere where it is now. Like, I give them props 100%. They just help structure my business to be able to get more grants. They helped me write my business plan. My business plan went from 3 pages to 10 pages now. So they helped me actually, because they know people that actually look at business plans or, you know, look at business structures and stuff like that to be able to help you. So don't count yourself out for that. And the public meetings, you can literally find on like Delta Township, I think I don't know if .org.com, but they have it like Delta Township. If you live on the west side, they have a website. City of East Lansing has a website that's just straight on their website, and it will tell you when their monthly meetings are. And I think a girl said earlier, if you just sign up for it, and even if you don't go, sometimes it will literally just tell you what the meeting was about. Because I get that all the time for City of East Lansing, because I want to know what it was talked about. Who was this that helped you get what you were saying? So it was LEAP. They help me, but they don't specifically just help you write the business plan. I went into the program saying like, hey, this is what I need. So I think a lot of times with these grants and these programs or anything about business, you have to take the lead. They're not going to say, hey, what do you need help with? And we're going to help you do XYZ. You need to be like, hey, I need help with a business plan because I don't have one, or my business plan is 1 page. Your business plan should be couple pages, like long, like elaborate, like anyone should read your business plan and be able to be like, I know exactly what her business is, how it's doing currently, where it's going. So definitely go into these programs, grants, anything, and really be specific as far as your business plan. Because I wrote my business plan the first time in like 3 hours. It took me forever, but it was only 3 pages. I did win a grant with that one, which I was very surprised that I won. But once I saw that 3-page one to the 10-page one, I'm like, oh, there's a big difference. You can see the growth in my business from that. Okay, let me see. Yeah, definitely need more pages.
I love that.
Now, my business plan isn't that I haven't updated in a little while, so it should be even longer and more elaborate. So
this was good, girl. So let me ask you, I did see, I don't know where I've seen it, but I've seen that you have some kind of community. That are you like talking about the grants in there, or is that just for something else?
yeah, so I do talk about I have to drop that link in here. In my community that I have, it's $25 a month. I believe you do get 3 days free. I drop all the grants I see because sometimes I see grants that do not apply to me. I'm in the beauty industry. So sometimes there's grants for tech. And that's another business that people don't realize. Tech, if you can improve tech anywhere, you'll win a lot of grants. Okay, for that one. Tech, I've seen stuff for like men. I've seen some for high schoolers. I've seen so many grants. Every time I'm applying them, like I don't qualify for. So I put in there. Even the ones I do qualify for, I still put it in there because I just feel like it's still like if your business is set up correctly or you really believe in yourself, you're gonna get what's for you is for you, and then you get access to me because people always inbox me, asking me hundreds of thousands of questions. Like right now, I promise you I have 25 unread messages that I have not responded to that I'm gonna do tonight. But they if you really want specific questions and really want me to like really sit down and hone on your business, I could do that in there versus like on my Facebook, because I'm going to give you a genuine answer and be not vague, but just give you an answer that probably won't be as specific because you're going to have a follow-up question. Whereas this one's like, you can keep going, ask me as much as you want, So I will put that in here.
Yes. All right. Well, ladies, I suggest you take that if you want to know more. I think that this was super informative. This helped me a lot. Oh, look at Kiana up on it. Come on, Mod Squad.
Oh, yeah, look, she got it quick. Oh, let me have this up.
Okay.
But, yeah. So if you guys have any specific questions you feel like I didn't elaborate on, definitely please do. I think the most important thing, honestly, is structuring your business, which was the first thing I started with. Definitely structure your business correctly. That will help you stand out from everyone else around you. Because I see a lot of people on my social media and places, and I'm just like, if I was giving you money, I want to know I'm giving it to legitimate business versus some random small Joe, because there's a lot of scammers out here. So you definitely want to make sure it's set up really, really great.
I love it. Love it. Well, if you ladies are complete, I feel like we got some homework, right? We need to start getting on these boards. We need to start looking on these websites because it sounds like we're missing out and it's a lot out there for us. So thank you so much, Lorin. This was amazing.
Yes, I'm glad I can help.
Yes, yes. All right. Any last questions before we go ahead and end it? Okay, perfect. Thank you again, sis. Y'all, this replay will be available in Sis Get Up tomorrow. Jump into her group. The links are there. They will also be all over Sis Get Up because we love to shout out our amazing speakers. So we'll have all her information Thank you, Kiana. Kiana be the one. She be the one.
I know, she sure
You know?
do. She's
She
quick.
do. Yeah, she is. And so that'll be in our group as well. She'll shout you out for our Working Women Wednesday as well. If you guys have anything that you want to learn about, listen, put it in the group. Let's talk about it because we are here to help you. Don't stay stuck if you don't have to be. Like, she's here. There's so many people out here that are here to help us go to the next level. So don't stay stuck. Let's do this together. And sis, get up. And that is it. Have an amazing night, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, Lorin. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.